Hello there, my name's Lindy Cowling and welcome to my YouTube channel. Um, slightly different venue today. Anyone else that's seen any of my YouTubes will see that most of them are recorded in a big red chair that I nicknamed long before Robin Williams' passing, the Mrs. Doubtfire chair. But change of venue. I nicknamed this bit the Harry Potter cupboard under the stairs because I literally am under the stairs here in a little office thing. Anyway, this has been a video I've been inspired to make, just a short video for quite some time now. Usually how I work is I keep back off camera unless it's something that's really pushing me from within to get in front of it again. When that happens, it's usually because I think it's something that I need to get out there and something that would help other people. For those of you that haven't seen any of my work before, I have a 15-year background as a therapist, hypnotherapist, healing, past life regression, future life progression, and I'm a medium clairvoyant, which means I also use psychic abilities. 3.5-year history experience within a twin flame union. What I will say on camera, for those of you that haven't seen the videos before, is that I always and only ever comment from living experience or living embodiment of something. So what I mean by that is I won't come out and comment on camera about anything that I haven't actually lived through or seen firsthand or witnessed through clients. I won't speculate. It's something that's very important to me and very dear to my heart when I say that there is a huge difference between knowledge and wisdom, and anybody nowadays can go out in the public eye and onto any kind of social network or onto media platform, quoting, shall we say, knowledge because they've read a lot of books on things. But when you have had experience of it, in whatever element that you're talking about, in front of a camera, whatever anybody's talking about, doesn't have to be a spiritual thing. When you've actually had living experience of it, then you're putting out that vibration, and it's different between, like I say, knowledge and wisdom. It's just a different vibration. So really what I was inspired for some time, the last couple of weeks, is I have this nagging voice inside has been trying to get me to come onto camera, just to talk just a tiny bit about the twin flame element of it. I deal with many clients worldwide that have either been in a twin flame union or a spiritual connection, a soul connection, or a heart awakening catalyst, because there are crossovers, and not all of the people by any means. In fact, most people that think they're in a twin flame union aren't in a twin flame union. They're having a heart awakening, spiritual soul catalyst. Still massive, still amazing, still life changing, still spiritual evolution. This is something, again, I'm very passionate about. There's no hierarchy to love. There's no accolade to love. There's no one element of experience of love or one element of experience of spiritual evolution that's more important than another. The twin flame union is an ascension template of the embodiment of who we truly are as a species, multi-dimensional beings of divine love. And it's something that I'm very passionate about, having experienced that element of it. But like I say, there's no tiers to this. There's no hierarchy to love. Everybody within them, you know, is a multidimensional being. Everybody within them is a well, if you like, has a well within them of divine source love. That's just another element of it. But I sidetracked a little bit there. What I'm finding is I'm dealing with clients worldwide, like I say, that are having amazing experiences, and many of them believe they're twin flames, and a small proportion of them are in fact twin flames. But I'm going to say 90% of those that I'm dealing with, possibly slightly higher, are not with their twin flames physically, or not with the spiritual catalyst physically, or not with the soulmate physically. So what they've had is this amazing interaction for weeks, months, or maybe even years, and then they've gone apart, and a huge amount of them have stayed apart, or they're apart for a long time. Because I have fallen in that category and have living experience of it, I'm very empathic to people that fall in that well of suffering, really. And so that does help me to help other people, and to understand the broader perspective on it. But it's also something that I'm very passionate about, because I am an empath by nature, and I just feel huge sympathy for people that are going through suffering. So what I would like to say to you, really, I'm gonna put people that have seen me on YouTube before, they will know I don't pull any punches. I say it quite bluntly. Now, people either love that or they hate that, because I don't dress it up. Something I will say, when I brought out a video, the last one I brought out on the truth vibration, is sometimes when we hear the truth, and I just try and come from my heart and put things as lovingly and gently as possible, but sometimes when we hear something that challenges our belief systems, especially from someone else, or it mirrors back to us, some of us, many of us, most of us don't like that, and it challenges that. And sometimes when you're not ready to hear that or accept it, really, within you, that sets up barriers with people. So, like I say, I'm just someone that I would like to say in a loving way that I consider myself to be having been through the battlefield, and I consider myself being very much down here on the ground in the battle, so to speak. I mean, what do I mean by battle? I mean, I have to laugh at that, because I don't take myself too seriously, but I'm there. I've rolled my sleeves up, and I've been in the middle of it all. Like I say, I've a living experience of every dynamic of spiritual evolution up to now, as far as I've got. So I've been in the lightest of the light elements of it, the darkest of the dark elements of it. I've experienced all extremes, and like I say, I've got a 15-year history in this. So, but what I will say, what I'm experiencing worldwide with people, I keep sidetracking here, is that people are falling in this category of where many have separated and are on their own, and then they are really struggling to move on. There's a worldwide pattern where it seems to be the male party, not always, before I'm inundated with males saying, no, that's not right. I can only use the experience and the people I'm dealing with. There are males I know of, actually, that fall in the category that they are the ones that are not able to move on. But usually, what I've found worldwide so far, in my experience, is that a lot of the males have fallen back into old relationships, or gone back to marriages, or blocked it out, or dropped really out of the heart and back into the head. And a lot of what I'm seeing worldwide, which the majority of what I'm seeing, 90% have been females. Whether it's because the males aren't coming forward, I don't know. They are the ones that are really struggling to move on. Some of them have tried to have connections with other people, tried to be intimate with other people, tried to move on with other people, and they are kind of blocking themselves. Now look, having been through this, let's cut everybody some slack here. When you're going through that level of overwhelming grief, when you've had a connection, especially if it's a genuine twin flame connection, but if you've had a spiritual, intense spiritual soul connection, and then you are then wrenched apart from one another, having connected and merged physically, not just in the etheric and you know the other dimensions, but physically, and then you're wrenched apart, it is a loss like no other, and it is temporary suffering like no other, and that takes time to go through that grieving process. You don't just bounce from that to something else. If you bounce from that as quick as that to something else, I would say that that was not a spiritual connection, and that was definitely not a twin flame. You don't just suddenly, you don't get over a twin flame. You evolve as a result of the twin flame union. You evolve hugely. It's not a fling. It's not something you get over. You evolve from it and are forever changed by it. So, like I say, what I'm seeing is that people worldwide, mostly the women, are getting stuck. They're getting stuck. And the sad thing is, this is why I say there's no hierarchy to love. It doesn't challenge me that, a huge percentage of them aren't twins anyway. It doesn't challenge me if they're in soulmates, or it doesn't bother me, what category they fall in. These are all people, loving people that are in pain and are blocked and stuck because they feel they can't move forward, they can't interact with anyone else. What I would like to say to you is that there is no limitations to this. Once you've gone through the grieving process, whether you be male or female, whatever dynamic this has taken, whatever form this divine love has taken for you, whether whatever partnership you had, and for however long, days, months, years, weeks, once you go apart from one another, once you've gone through that grieving process, and I have witnessed and been through it, so I know how long it takes before you come out the other side, and it's different for everybody. Please don't limit yourself to thinking that life's over after that. That's all I see and hear worldwide, and it really it hurts me to say it, and you can hear that in my voice and see it. I'm actually welling up because I'm an empath, and I can feel where that comes from, and I've actually experienced that, which is the double whammy. So that's why I am empathic with these guys. Please don't feel that your life is over and that you will not meet another spiritual connection. Even if you were in the twin flame union or physically in the twin flame union, there is life beyond the twin flame union. You can carry on solo on your paths, and many of them are. And it does not mean to say that there isn't a plan B. Okay, twin flame, if it was a twin flame, but whatever it was, your catalyst, soulmate, whatever, plan A, or one of the sequences of events planned on your timeline in this life. But plan B, is in the wings. So that doesn't, what I'm saying is you just have to be open to the idea and the energy that other experiences can come along as part of your evolution, and part of your spiritual growth, and beautiful things can happen, and you can have beautiful connections and heart awakenings and heart openings, and every variation on a theme with somebody else, and perhaps even more than one person somewhere on your timeline, not at the same time, hopefully. But hey, who am I to judge? But you know what I mean. Be open to that. Don't be thinking and feeling. And so I'm not making light of this, because I think you could see by the emotion in my face earlier there, I am hugely empathic with you guys on this, because it's something I'm talking from experience on as well. You can move forward, you can move onward. You will have other connections that can be hugely rewarding for you. And look, let's throw another curveball in here. How do you know that somewhere in your soul's plan that it wasn't always planned that way? You know, that what you thought was plan A, you know, was just part of your journey, and plan B is the real McCoy. You know, the nicer, the easier part of it. As I say nicer, you know, anyone who knows that it's a genuine twin flames, that it's the most challenging connection you can ever have really on this planet when it goes belly up. Even when they're not going belly up, they're quite challenging. Yes, they are absolutely beautiful as well. You know, something does make me really cross, and I'm going to have to say this on camera. There are some fantastic people out there talking on stuff, and some of them are talking on twin flames. But what I will say is there's a few of them out there that are talking on twin flames, and they are just talking hypothetically. They have not had living experience of it. And so they talk in this mystical language, and yeah, all this is going to happen by a certain date, and absolutely emphatically all twin flames are coming together, definitely coming together, no two ways about it. I'm sorry, but that is not true. In an ideal world, without any curveballs being thrown in, every set of twin flames that incarnated physically on this planet would have and would be, you know, the embodiment, not just in the other, not just in spirit, not just in the etheric body, you know, not just all that coming together, but the full embodiment of it. But, you know, it doesn't always work that way, and there are, for various reasons, you know, sometimes it just doesn't work that way, you know. What I'm trying to get across here is life isn't over. You know, there is always, I did an earlier video about the cycle of suffering, the apple and the orange. Okay, it's not your apple, but there are oranges and there are other fruit. There is always, you know, your soul won't unevolve, you won't ungrow, and I'm not belittling or discrediting or anybody that's going through that suffering, because I have gone through that suffering immensely. What I'm saying is you come out of the other side of that, and there are potentially in your soul's journey other experiences you can have, other connections that you connect with the heart and the soul and the spirit of you, with your whole being. Wonderful experiences on every single level. Not, you know, this is all about embodiment, and I will bring a video out on embodiment, because it's been something that's very strong in me in the last few weeks, again, to bring one out on that. This is about the living embodiment of it, living it, breathing it, being it. And that is all there, you know, it's all there. It's not hypothetical anymore. We don't go up into caves and shut ourselves off the world now and go off spiritually in a head. We need to bring it all down now. There is a wonderful I call him a spiritual teacher. He probably wouldn't like me to call him that, but there's a wonderful guy who's got some fantastic work out there called Jeff Brown. I love the work he puts out. I did a radio interview with him, I think it was last year now, and one of his saying is, it's all about enrealment. Really, really, he's saying the same thing. That's his word for embodiment. It's the living, breathing, you're just being it now, you know, it's not hypothetical anymore. So don't limit yourselves to thinking that, you know, there isn't life beyond that, because there is, and I would say that 90% of the work I'm doing is connected with what I just spoke about here today. That's why it's something I feel I should bring a video out on, because I don't like to see so many people caught up in so much misery, especially when a huge proportion of them are kind of waiting for it to change, and have kind of got stuck like rabbits in barbed wire. And they need to honour, yes, they've gone through a grieving process or going through a grieving process, but then they need to try and let it go and move on, and open to the idea that other beautiful, magical, mystical, loving, fantastic things and people are there around them, when they open themselves up to the vibration to get to that point where they can accept that. Anyway, I will love you and leave you, and if I don't get in front of the camera again before Christmas, have a great Christmas, and give yourself the gift of your own presence this Christmas. With love. Thank you. Bye bye.